What up, YouTube? Knowledge of self-determination. Back at you guys with some more boxing. So, I wanted to talk about HBO's latest pound for pound list. And I gotta say, that shit is trash. HBO's pound for pound list is trash, as you can tell from the title of this video. Their pound for pound list is trash, and here's why. Well, first let's run down the first 5 names on that list. Vasyl Lomachenko is number 1. Andre Ward, number 2. Gennady Golovkin, number 3. Sergey Kovalev, number 4. And Terrence Crawford, number 5. Bullshit. Listen, I know that people are very high on Vasyl Lomachenko. Yes, the kid is very skilled. Vasyl Lomachenko is a highly skilled fighter. Without a doubt. He fight. I love that style of fighting. The boxer punches slick, get out of the way, hit and don't get hit. I love that style of fighting. You know what I'm saying? I do. I appreciate that style of fighting because that is, in fact, what boxing is for the most part. You know? But to say that a dude with 9 fights, 1 loss in his first 9 fights, his second fight, is a better fighter than everybody else who he is above. He's a better fighter than Terrence Crawford. He's fought better competition than Terrence Crawford. Really. And think about it. Yeah, he beat Nicholas Walters. Man, that fight was a fucking throwaway fight. Seriously, that was a throwaway fight. I'm keeping it real, man. Nicholas Walters threw that fucking fight. For whatever reason, he moving along. Gary Russell Jr., as highly praised as Gary Russell Jr. was when he fought Vasyl Lomachenko, he was on nobody's pound for pound list at all. So how does beating him, a guy who's not pound for pound, make you a pound for pound contender? How does doing that? Listen, 9 fights on his record. He lost to Salido. With 9 fights on his record, 1 loss. He's fought maybe 3 guys who were probably legitimate competition for the most part. 3 guys. Out of 9 fights, 3 that people looked at and was like, "Oh, this is going to be a good fight. He could lose this fight." Everybody else, nobody thought that about. Even Rocky Martinez. Who the fuck thought Rocky Martinez was going to beat Vasyl Lomachenko? Get out of here, man. Andre Ward is number 2. He just moved up from 168 to light heavyweight. Fought 2 fights, and then fought the champion with 3 belts and took his belts. And is still undefeated. Vasyl Lomachenko has done more than Andre Ward. Really? What about So he's done more than Gennady Golovkin. Granted, Gennady Golovkin's resume isn't the greatest, and Terrence Crawford's resume is better than Gennady Golovkin's. But you mean to tell me Vasyl Lomachenko has a better resume and has proven more in 9 fights than these other fighters have done in 30 plus fights or close to 30 fights? He's done more in the sport than Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev is a good fighter. He is a good fighter, without a doubt. He's a great fighter. I don't like him as a person. I think he sucks as a human being. But he is a good fighter. Vasyl Lomachenko has done more than this man in boxing. No, he hasn't. He has not. When in the history of boxing has anybody ever been catapulted to the top of a pound for pound list at number 1 with 9 fights and a loss on their record? It has never happened as far as I can recollect. It has never happened. When has that happened? Please explain. Please explain. Because Erickson Lubin is the goods. Erickson Lubin looks like he is on his way to being one of the best 154 pounders out there. Nobody's even talking about this kid. The Charlo brothers. People are looking at the Charlo brothers as unstoppable forces in their respective divisions. These dudes are highly skilled. No mention of these dudes at all. Demetrius Andrade, no mention. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of fighters who have done more, beaten more highly touted competition, and has accomplished more in their careers than Vasyl Lomachenko, who have not made this list. Who have not made this list at all. Man, stop. He's ranked higher than Guillermo Rigondeaux. Vasyl Lomachenko has done more than Terence Crawford, who just beat a gold medalist in Felix Diaz, that some people thought would probably actually stop Terence Crawford or hurt him. Terence Crawford played with that kid like it was nothing. Vasyl Lomachenko is a better fighter than all of these guys. Vladimir Klitschko, heavyweight kingpin for a decade. He's a better fighter than this guy. He's better than Anthony Joshua. He's done more. Anthony Joshua's beaten more champions, more undefeated fighters than Vasyl Lomachenko. Vladimir Klitschko, like, man, forget about it. He's better than these guys. Tyson Fury, even though he's a jackass. Seriously, man, come on, man. Come on. He hasn't done more than Brandon Rios in the sport. I'm going to be honest with you. Skill for skill, yes, he's better than Brandon Rios. He hasn't done more in boxing than Brandon Rios. Like, get out of here. Manny Pacquiao, man. When you ask the question, who is ruining boxing, it's shit like this that makes people, that puts a bad taste in people's mouths when you talk about boxing. It's things like this. It's the dishonesty. It's the fudging of records and who you're trying to tout as a good fighter. Oh, this UFC. These are the things that help ruin boxing. These are the things that causes boxing as a sport to lose respect from other sports and other combat sports. HBO is fucking up boxing with this bullshit list. And I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say this. And unapologetically, I don't give a fuck who gets mad. If you think Vasyl Lomachenko is #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, you don't know shit about boxing. You don't know shit about boxing. You can put him in the rankings wherever you want. But if you think he is better than everybody else that is underneath him on the list and better than all the fighters that I've named, and there's so many more I could name, you don't know shit about boxing. Plain and simple. You can leave comments in the comment section. You can hate, beef, whatever. You can do whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can roller skate uphill on ice. I don't give a fuck what you do. If you think, and I'm going to say this again because I want to make myself clear, absolutely clear. If you think that Vasyl Lomachenko is a better fighter than everybody on that list, if you think he is #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, you don't know shit about boxing. You don't know anything. And to say that means you don't know shit about boxing. This is why HBO is losing support so far as the boxing community is concerned. Because even people who like Vasyl Lomachenko are looking at this shit like, he's better than fucking Klitschko? Get out of here. Where is Vasyl Lomachenko's Felix Diaz? Where is his Sergey Kovalev, Andre Ward? Where is his legendary matchup? Where is his Dan? He's not even better than Danny Jacobs. And I like Danny Jacobs. And this is no shade to Danny Jacobs. I think Danny Jacobs is an awesome fighter. I was one of the few people that knew Danny Jacobs was going to do as well as he did in that fight. I was one of the few people that rooted for Danny Jacobs. Go back to my channel and you can see it where I big up Danny Jacobs and told people Danny Jacobs is better than people give him credit for. His chin is stronger than people give him credit for. He got hurt twice in 2 fights. And one fight was like almost a decade, it seemed like a decade ago. Anyway, I don't mean to get so worked up about this, man. But seriously though, man, seriously. This shit is a black eye on the sport. I mean, I give Canelo shit. But Vasyl Lomachenko isn't better than Canelo. His resume is not better than Canelo's. Canelo has way more champions on his resume than fucking Vasyl Lomachenko. More knockouts, more stoppages. Seriously. You cannot be serious in believing that this guy, Vasyl Lomachenko, is #1 pound for pound. You can't. You cannot. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video short. I think I've made my point. I'm trying not to get so overly emotional about it because it's a black eye on the sport. It's very disrespectful to the sport of boxing to claim that this guy right here is #1 pound for pound with 9 fucking fights and a loss on his record. When there are dudes who are undefeated, who they're saying he is ranked higher than. No fucking way. No way. There is no way. There is no fucking way that you can actually argue this point logically. There's no way you can do it. Anyway, man. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. HBO's pound for pound list is some shit. It's some shit. And it's a black eye to the sport. It's disrespectful as fuck. I believe. It doesn't do the sport of boxing any justice at all, whatsoever, to constantly try to push this great white hope or great white hype. Because HBO, listen, it's obvious what you guys are doing. Obvious that you're trying to push this narrative of a great white hope. Why? Why do you guys have to always push some non-black fighter to the top of the list before he's even been proven? Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Vasyl Lomachenko is going to keep talking shit, calling out bigger and stronger fighters like Mikey Garcia and Terrence Crawford. He's going to get one of those fights one day, and then he's going to get fucking demolished in the ring. And then, just like fucking Chocolatito, where's his big head ass at? Just like Chocolatito, they're going to fucking forget about him immediately after he takes that ass whipping. They're not even going to talk about him anymore after he gets fucked up. They're not even going to talk about him. It's going to be like Vasyl Lomachenko never existed. You understand what I'm saying? As good a fighter as he is, and I hope that doesn't happen. I think Vasyl Lomachenko has the skill to carry him through a long ways in boxing. But let's wait until he gets there before we start touting him as one of the best fighters in the world. But this is I do not make pound for pound lists, and I will not make a pound for pound list because it's subjective. To be perfectly honest with you, because there is no fucking best in my opinion. Because back to my days when I was training, it's about who's better that day. It's about now. There are some fighters, yes, there's a sliding scale on skill for skill. You know what I'm saying? Who is better and who is worse? That is true. That is true. But when you step in the ring, it's about who's better that day. Because highly skilled, highly touted fighters can lose to a guy that they're not supposed to lose to. It can happen. One punch can change it all. It's about who's better that day. So no, I will not. I don't do pound for pound lists because I think it's a waste of time. To be honest with you, I do because one fight can change an entire pound for pound ranking, an entire pound for pound listing. One fight can change it all. If Andre Ward loses to Sergey Kovalev, or vice versa, is Sergey Kovalev still going to be on anybody's top 10, or is he going to drop below the top 10? Same thing with Andre Ward. What's going to happen? It's all subjective, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything for the sport. You want to know who's pound for pound? Consolidate the fucking belts. Let's see who ends up with all the belts in each division. Then we can start talking pound for pound. Let's do that. Because there are too many belts and too many fake-ass paper champions out here for anybody to say that anybody is a pound for pound champion. Vasyl Lomachenko doesn't go up to 135, 140, and beat the shit out of these guys. He's not running through the competition in these divisions. It's not happening. He's not. I don't even see him going up to 140 to fight Terrence Crawford. And then if he did, sayonara to that dude. But that's what I'm talking about. I don't respect anybody's pound for pound list. It's not something that I respect or disrespect. I don't put any stock into it because it doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't. Pound for pound lists don't mean anything to me. I'm just be honest, and I know a lot of dudes who do pound for pound lists. They don't mean anything to me at all. It's just your opinion. Your pound for pound list is based on your personal aesthetic of the sport. That's all it is. Your pound for pound list is based off of your aesthetic, your personal likes and dislikes when it comes to boxing. That's all it is. That's all it is. At the end of the day, let's consolidate these belts. Let's get let's get unified champions in each division. And then we can start talking about who's pound for pound. Then we can start talking about that. Start talking about who's the best in these divisions. And then who's the best overall, skill for skill, pound for pound. That's the only way it makes sense to me. The way things are, it makes no sense. Think about it. Roman Gonzalez and Gennady Golovkin, just a couple of months ago, what was it, ESPN or HBO, one of those jackasses, was saying that these two were 1 and 2 top 25 fighters in the past 25 years. Chocolatito got his ass kicked by Sarung Vazai. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Sarung Vazai whipped his ass. And now all of a sudden, don't even list him on that pound for pound list. They disappeared his ass. They abracadabraed his ass off their list. They don't even talk about fucking Gonzalez anymore. Don't even talk about him. That's why a pound for pound list is shit to me. Because all it takes is one bad performance and they don't even talk about you anymore. Look at Gennady Golovkin. Top 1 and 2 in the past 25 years. He didn't even lose to Danny Jacobs on paper. They dropped his ass from number 1, number 2 to number 3. They dropped him down because of a bad performance. That's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, pound for pound lists don't have any credibility. It's all about personal aesthetic. Let's consolidate these belts. Let's get one unified champion in each division, and then we can have this conversation. Until then, it means absolutely shit.